The supernatural phenomenon does not only encompass everything related to disembodied spirits, death, cemetery. No. The paranormal phenomenon also includes the UFO phenomenon, the sightings of UFOs, but beyond the possibility of seeing a UFO like the ones we shared, beyond seeing UFOs as well, the reality is that there are people who may have experienced other types of contacts, other types of experiences. Today, within Paranormal Hand to Hand, we are going to open a segment titled Special Hand to Hand UFOs, because we are going to talk about, for the first time exclusively in the media of Argentina and the region, a first-hand testimony from a woman who had an extraterrestrial encounter and was abducted and returned to normal life. But of course, she is no longer the same. Now, I'm going to ask our interviewee if she has given any other interviews or testimonies. Her life changed. In this UFO segment of Paranormal Hand to Hand, we have Mercedes Mendiola in the UCL studio. Mercedes, thank you for watching.
Hello, how are you? It's a pleasure to be here.
Mercedes, I introduced you as someone who was abducted. Were you abducted by extraterrestrials?
Yes. While I was sleeping...
When did it happen?
In the year 2007. 2007.
Do you remember more or less which month?
No, I don't remember, honestly. You put me to sleep like any other day. Yes, and when? I come to my senses. I see that I was inside a spaceship. I realize that because when it is seen that I must have been lifted up by a tube of light, it closes under my feet like a hatch. And I see in front of me a whole control panel with beings who were in command. And I am greeted by 3 beings.
What were those beings like? Now, if I ask you to describe them, what were they like?
Very similar to us. Tall. They wore something like overalls, a metallic silver suit.
Yes.
And when I see where I am, mentally I say, what am I doing here? Where am I? What's going on with this? Right?
I will be interrupting your story because I also want to add questions and images for the audience. Put yourself in the shoes of Mercedes Mendiola, who went to sleep one day, and here the strange thing is that you remember perfectly everything that happened.
It was very vivid.
It is what makes me feel that there is a very high chance that it was not a dream and that it was a real abduction, because it aligns with what other testimonies have recounted throughout history. But did you first see the ship? Do you remember it? Do you remember what the environment was like?
Yes, it is circular. The entire control panel they looked like windows. And right to my right, where these 3 beings who received me were, there was a type of compartment, like another room. I don't remember much about what is on my left, because I am focused on that part. And when I mentally ask, like, what am I doing here? They tell me not to be scared. All of this was telepathic. Did they ever speak? They never spoke. Don't be scared. We're here because we want to show you something.
What were they like? I'm getting goosebumps because it's like the first time I've been so close to someone who experienced a real abduction. You said the beings were similar to us, but taller.
Taller.
I mean, not like what we see in the images, not like the movies. Look at what you have here. No. Oh well, there it went. But it wasn't the typical elongated head and black eyes.
It wasn't quite like that. Let's say their features were quite similar to ours, to humans, just with some characteristics like maybe a slightly elongated skull, but nothing else. They had eyelids, they had eyebrows, they had hair. They weren't bald. Bald. Their eyes were black, but they weren't like the ones you see in photos that are so clear. No.
And the hands, do you remember?
No, I don't remember that.
The coverall covered their entire body?
It covered their bodies.
Silver coverall and silver.
3 of them told me telepathically. not to be afraid, that they wanted to show me something, and that was why I was there. And they invite me to follow them to the right. Let's go. It was like a large room where, when I looked, there were many stretchers with many people there.
Were they human beings?
Yes, they were all human beings. And then it seems they must have seen my face and told me not to be scared, that they weren't harming anyone.
Were the human beings on those stretchers asleep?
Asleep, yes.
Dressed naked? What do you remember?
They were wearing coats. But they were connected to some kind of equipment, like in a hospital. Extensive, yes, something like that. I mean...
Connected, asleep, or in a coma, something like that. And on stretchers.
And on stretchers with their torsos bare. And it seems that it must have impressed me by the look on my face. And they told me not to be afraid, that they were simply studying us, that they wanted to study us because they wanted to help the human race, humanity, and that anyone who had any kind of illness would be healed.
That's intense. How did the visit they made to you continue?
And it stayed there because when I woke up, I was already in bed, but I was left with the feeling that it was very vivid. Even I asked myself many times if this was real or just a dream. The thing that makes me see it was real is that after that, a lot of things happened to me, many situations that led me to believe that, yes, it was real.
I'm going to go back to the moment when you wake up. You wake up again in your room. Do you remember all of this that you are telling us? Did you touch your body? Did you feel anything physical? Like sometimes after a trip you feel tired or your feet hurt? Did you feel anything? Or were you relaxed?
In a way, relaxed, but with that adrenaline rush at the same time.
You said that after this experience in 2007, strange things started happening in your life. For example, what?
Well, actually, I never paid much attention to the topic of UFOs. And I started having sightings in my backyard quite often. In 2010, I moved to Cordoba, and since my children were very young at the time, to make the separation from their grandparents less difficult, indeed, we traveled once a month back to the province of Santa Fe, on each of those trips, both going and returning. The ships appeared within approximately a certain number of kilometers or so.
Was the trip en route?
On the road, yes, for 400 kilometers. At night. We generally like to travel at night.
But were the ships escorting you?
Yes, for a few minutes. We were accompanied for up to half an hour, right? At that moment, the father of my children was driving.
Were you in the car and seeing the ships that were escorting you and what was happening to you?
No, nothing. I watched them and thanked them for being there because I know that in a way they were taking care of us and keeping us company.
Did you have more encounters, more sightings?
Yes, always. Since that time I had the abduction, I have always had sightings. I even had the possibility to realize that not only are there extraterrestrials, but there are also intraterrestrials.
Stop. Slowly, calm down, Saturday night. Stop. Not only are there extraterrestrials, says Mercedes Mendiola, but there are also intraterrestrial beings. That is, they live inside the earth.
Exactly.
And did you see them?
Yes. Where? Near Capilla de Monte del Monte in San Marcos Sierras.
And how was the experience?
I went for a walk to Capilla del Monte, and from there, we stopped. And at that moment, we went to visit San Marcos Sierras. At that time, I don't know if it's still there now, there was the artisan's walkway next to the church. Well, I was looking around and I felt like a magnetic force was directing my head. It made me look at someone specific. He was a tall young man with features, like ours, but very linear, very angular. The color of the skin, I mean, like our skin, but you could tell it wasn't human skin. It was like, how can I put it, artificial, like when they make, latex masks. Oh my God.
Nothing more than putting it on. Yes, it looks camouflaged.
Exactly. Yes. And the sensation of the skin color, as if a grayish filter was applied to our skin color. Yes. Something like that. And besides, apart from the features, the ears. The size of the head, these are very coarse features.
Did you have the certainty of seeing it? Did the energy lead you to look at it, to observe it? And did this being realize that you were looking at it?
When I look at him, he turns around and looks at me. Oh, it scares me. And I ask myself, internally, I wonder if it could be. And when he looks at me again and smiles, and I ask him telepathically, I ask him, are you? He smiles at me again and nods. He nods his head. And then I look to the side, next to him. He was standing next to him, on a stool. There was a girl sitting. And I look at her. She turns around and smiles at me. So I ask them, are you also? And they look at me, both smile, and they both nod their heads, yes. Later that same night, when we returned to Capilla del Monte, I went to a bar because we went to eat something on the famous covered street. I was going up, and this part had a terrace. I was going up, and again my head automatically turned to a table, and there was another guy who smiled at me. I looked at him and asked, are you one too? He smiled and nodded, and that was it. The next day, we were going to, we went to climb the Uritorco. That night we go to sleep, and through dreams. I arrive at the Uritorco.
You were in Capilla sleeping and you mentally went to Uritorco?
To Uritorco in a dream.
All right. It could be an astral journey because let me clarify. When she says dream, could it be that you dreamed it? Because honestly, let me also open up the doubt. Because there are people who won't believe you and you know it. It could be a dream, but it could also be an astral journey, where through what seems like a dream, one detaches from the body and Tao travels.
Yes, it has happened to me too.
The first thing you mentioned, the trip to the spaceship, could also be an astral journey to an extraterrestrial ship. But now, you travel to Uritorco.
And what happened that night? Well, I reached the top through the dream. And now, talking to you and linking everything I was telling you. Oh, yes. Every time I get confirmations, I get steps.
Something is happening to me too. My arm, please. Please. Look at this. Just now. I don't know if you can see it, but I have goosebumps. Bad. Are they standing up? No. Look, can you tell? No, but badly. And I still feel it, feeling an energy throughout my body. Like, what do you feel?
I feel a chill. What happens to me is that when I say something or sometimes I have insights that I need to communicate to someone, or the person is telling me something and doesn't know if it's true or not, I get a chill, and that chill I learn to recognize as confirmations. And now it hits me that these beings who appeared in San Marcos Sierra and Capilla del Monte are the ones who made me see the Uritorco that night.
Are they the same?
They are the same. Oh, sorry.
Yes, the energy really changed. You probably can't feel this through the TV, or maybe you can. You can leave it in the comments, but believe what I am telling you. As I am also perceiving it, as a chilling energy, it's like when you enter a place that scares you and you feel like someone is watching you, and you turn around, stealthily. Well, that's what I felt. I want to ask you, on this astral journey to Uritorco, yes, what did you see? What did they tell you there?
They didn't say anything. They took me. I saw it when we went up, but I didn't reach the top. I reached the second to last. Of course, I reached the second to last base and didn't make it to the top. I mean, for me it was satisfying anyway, because let's say I saw it the same, I experienced it the same. And with all this, I was thinking, this is very crazy. Could it have been Uritorco? And I started looking for photos of the summit, and it was the place.
Oh my God. Hey Mercedes, I have to start saying goodbye to you. Time flew by with you. She was abducted. You can follow her. Enotical mania. There it is.
Pharmacy, my soul.
Alma mia? What is that, your business? Do you do something?
Yes, because besides selling natural products, I also dedicate myself to listening to people, because I realized some time ago that people need to be heard. So they don't have that possibility. Maybe due to monetary reasons or because they don't dare to talk about certain topics. Well, I offer the space for that. And also because of a lot of things that have happened to me as well, like listening to people on the street or my colleagues at the time when I was working, and having insights for them, or telling them things like messages. Yes. Or telling them things that make something click for them, or is the solution to some kind of problem.
Hey, before you leave, I want to do something with you, and I'm going to tell my colleagues. Look, 2009, I tell Carlos, the director. Look at what I'm going to do, Carlos, so we can show it properly. I am going to stand with Mercedes Mendiola, and we are going to go to the sides of the big screen, because I want you to watch the UFO video and tell me what resonates with you as something that could be real and what seems like science fiction.
Perfect.
Because you not only have the experience of the encounters, but you have also had sightings. Come on, let's stand up. Stand up calmly. Go behind your chair. 2009, come here. Let's go. Stay there in that spot on the screen, and here we are going to see. I'll be asking you if you want. Look, you tell me which of these images resonates as true to you. Sighting. Does the spaceship resonate as true to you? Here there will be a, this is a reenactment, something like that.
Something like that.
Does it sound true to you?
Yes.
You tell me what seems like science fiction to you. Look, now you're going to see more images, and at some point, beings will appear. Can you tell me if the ones you saw look like any of these images? Considering these are images taken by... Look, was it similar to this being? Yes or no? It has a big head. It's very exaggerated.
It's very exaggerated.
They are not like that.
No, it's very, very exaggerated.
Well, you see that there. Lift your gaze and you'll see the face. It's not as monstrous as what you saw. No, no. Ships, you know, like those saucers.
I've seen something like that. Yes.
But just like this one. You see? A suspended spaceship. Hey, these are supposedly real images, except for the alien one, which was a recreation. Does this resonate with you or not?
That's much closer. Because it has, let's say, human features.
Oh my God. Shall we sit down again? Well, I want to thank Mercedes Mendiola for coming. The truth is, I know it's not easy to talk about these things, especially because I imagine that even though you're used to it, many people make fun of it.
I haven't talked about it much either. I think the first time I was able to talk about it, not even the father of my children. At that time, we had been separated for a few years already. And my last partner, who passed away last year, with him, let's say, who was also into it. With him, I was able to talk about it. And moreover, he told me that he came from Sirius.
He was also a special being. Yes. I tell you, we will surely continue talking on the radio. Thank you, Mercedes Mendiola, for coming.
Thanks to you.
Thank you very much. Well, quite a strong testimony, right? You can leave your comments. What do you think? You can also share this material, or you can write to me at hectorrossilocutor, okay? There is more paranormal material.
Something paranormal is happening.
Can you explain to me what is happening? What happened? Something paranormal. Diego, what happened? Maybe no, but yes, it had never happened before. But look, something happened. What? A very strange sound can be heard. And it has like a sequence that you go to Brazil and in sequence physically in psychophonies. Did you record it yourself? No, it's that. You can't believe it, but it's recorded. And so let's not do one thing. We'll record next week. We'll find a way and include the church and fight with it and close the program. What do you think? Can you send it to him so he can get it ready? Come here. How much does the idea bring?
Listen. And Carlos, I'm also going to send you this video I'm making now, and we'll put it on the air so people understand what's happening. We are recording the paranormal hand-to-hand, and a lot of things happened. I told you that what I felt when we were just starting the interview with Mercedes Mendiola was a strange energy. Something truly paranormal is happening. Guys, we're still here on the set. Well, this just happened. We just finished the interview with Mercedes Mendiola. We were calm. We had another interview with someone else, sending a big kiss. We couldn't connect with her because every time we tried, a very strange voice would come in, talking and interrupting the story. I don't know if you have any of the videos that Macarena, our producer, recorded, because the sound was terrible. Look. What was that sound?
Iranian. It was amazing. He was on fire. Just all the spirits.
Hello, can you hear me? You and it sounds like a male voice, trying to tell us something.
Your audio isn't reaching them using... Clean the floor, please. We are here, and they were already asking for Mercedes Mendiola. This is the control. This was 2 minutes ago. Do you hear it like offensive ale? Do you have something else, Vienta, besides the browser that allows you to connect with us? This just happened. We couldn't link to the next interview. Because that voice is being heard. Sky, do you have... She doesn't know. You can't hear anything from her. I don't call her...
Well, we started to worry, because another interview was coming up. And as we connected, we could see the interviewee, but we constantly heard a voice speaking to us in a language we didn't recognize. I have one more video, which I just recorded before sitting back down here in the studio so you can see what just happened. I was just saying when I was talking to Mercedes Mendiola that I had goosebumps. Well, they haven't gone away. Look at what just happened. But it seems like there's someone who wants to talk, doesn't it? We're recording the stick. It seems like there's someone who wants to talk, like a connection. We just talked. You can hear it, right? Do you also feel like there's someone who wants to speak or not?
What does it say?
Yes. Look, we had to do the interview with a delay. And when we tried to connect with her, this audio started leaking. And we just talked about extraterrestrial beings. Mercedes, do you think it has to do with what you told us?
Yes, it could be. Until I leave, this is not going to stop.
Until she leaves, this is not going to stop. She says yes. I feel like they want to talk. Really. Look, it can't be done. It can't be done.
Unbearable. How unbearable.
Look. It never happened. This never happened to you all. Right? Or did it?
It is a very strange experience.
Well, welcome to the paranormal. Unaquita got stuck there. We can't do the interview. I'll continue talking with Mercedes Mendiola. Well, I'm gonna keep talking with you, Mercedes. Thank you for staying. You just said that until you leave, we won't be able to continue.
I don't know, there's something inside me that tells me that until I leave, let's say, the communication won't be restored.
Do you feel that these beings who abducted you have now interrupted the transmission?
Maybe so. Or there could be some entity around that takes advantage of my energy to communicate.
It would seem that we don't have the physical time right now, but the audio is recorded and I will tell Macarena, our producer, that we will analyze it on the radio, on the pop station. We will break down the audio and clean it up to see if we can understand what is being said. Because it would seem that someone is talking right all the time.
Yes, 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 yes. And look, it's not a coincidence that I can tell you. It's an EVP because 2 or 3 days ago. It seems my clairaudience was awakening. And at home, I woke up, I was in bed with the cat, and I heard the first one, and didn't pay attention because I thought it was coming from outside. The second date in time, I looked at the cat, and the cat is very companionable and alerts me all the time to things like that, paranormal things, and she becomes alert. On the third time, they tell me here, I can hear clearly. Well, yes, let's go. It was like they were proposing something to me.
I make a deal.
Sure. And I didn't quite catch it because I didn't understand the first two.
I'll tell you what I feel just happened. Look, I've been doing this for many years. I had similar experiences on Intrusos. When Graciela Delfano came, the broadcast was interrupted. Recently, last year, when Carlos Menem's granddaughter came, and she was talking about Carlitos Menem Jr., where his death or murder is always involved. The transmission was also interrupted with sound, but today's event is different for me. I have what I feel is a hypothesis. For me, this is not related to the realm of disembodied supernatural phenomena, but that's how I interpret it. You told the story of your abduction, the audience, and I also want to tell you, we are torn between believing you or not. I'll tell you what was happening to me. I was listening to you attentively, and my mind was going back and forth between believing you or not believing you. Do I believe you or not believe you? This makes me believe. This makes me believe. I interpret it as these beings from another world who abducted you and showed you what they showed you. And today, for the first time, you are telling it, give a sign that there is one, that they saw that we exist. They saw that we have a gift, that we can interrupt everything. Because technically what is happening has no explanation. It's a Zoom link with an interviewee who doesn't have any other audio source open. I mean, it's point to point. The person was talking, and besides their voice, there was interference. It's very rare for an internet audio connection to be interfered with. This used to happen with traditional phones. Yes, I interpret it as those beings, maybe in a language unknown to humans, but they are telling us something. That's how I interpret it.
Yes, it could be. Yes, I agree with you. And I'm sure that once I leave, this will stop.
If you leave, we all leave. Remember when Carmen Barbieri gets mad at Ventura and says, "Oh, you're mad at me, you're scolding me?" And Ventura says, "No, I'm leaving." He takes off his microphone and leaves. And Carmen says, "I'm leaving too." Hold on a bit. In 40, we all leave. I said, well, here it's the same as the bank. In a second, we go. We all leave. In 3 minutes, we all leave. But I think it's spectacular that everything was recorded, because it gives us time to analyze the audios on the radio and for next week's paranormal hand-to-hand, if necessary. We can invite you again, and I want to invite a specialist in ufology, Master Laceras Antonio, or another expert, to share stories about this, because maybe it's not the first time it has happened, but it is the first time it has happened on a television program. What's going on with you? How are you leaving here today? Happy, sad, angry, joyful?
No, happy.
Did it change your energy for the better?
Yes. And I believe that. From your program, very big things are going to emerge from now on.
Starting today?
Starting today?
You know, I recently looked and remembered that a couple of minutes ago, when I made you stop and we went to the screen, something I never do. I want to tell you, I never do that because it seems really unprofessional to me, but I felt the need to invite you. Do you know why I did it? Because I wanted you to say what you said. No, because I already realized how you had described the being. I wanted you to see the monster and say, no, they are not like that. They are not monstrous. I think they appreciated that honesty.
It's just that, there is talk about all kinds of extraterrestrial beings. Some good, some bad, some that influence you, and some that don't influence you. And I believe that not all of them are like that. Yes, because a large part is dedicated to wanting to help humanity.
I'll hold on to that message. Saying bye to you, we're all leaving. Thank you, Mercedes Mendiola, for coming.
Thank you for this opportunity.
And thanks to all of you who stayed with us until the end. I want to tell you that this was, for me, the different paranormal hand-to-hand. The one where I really felt a lot of energies from the moment we started. Remember that Fabiana King also had trouble connecting. Keep that in mind. And before that, thank you, Macarena. No, I will talk about all of this in the theater as well, because a lot of things are happening to me before the premiere, and I look forward to seeing you all on April 6th at the Piccadilly Theater to witness the paranormal hand-to-hand late-night show Face-to-Face. It's a hand-to-hand, but with a voice through the night. Paranormal Face-to-Face at the Piccadilly. Scan the QR code with your cell phone right now. It opens the PlateoNet page, and you can buy your tickets immediately. I believe that for the April 6th show, tickets must be practically sold out. Only the last few tickets remain. The view is good from all locations. Don't be afraid. Don't think that just because you're not in the front row, you won't have a good view. The Piccadilly looks spectacular. Tickets are also on sale for Saturday, April 13th, 23:45 for the paranormal hand-to-hand late-night show. You can scan the QR code now, or you can go directly to the Piccadilly Theater box office. For example, tomorrow Sunday, the Piccadilly is open after 5 p.m. On Monday, it is not open, but from Tuesday to Sunday after 5 p.m., you can go in person to Corrientes 1524. There, buy your tickets in cash at the Piccadilly Theater box office. Otherwise, scan that QR code to open the PlateoNet page. Buy it now from your phone. I want to see you. And if not, get on the computer. Search for Lupita after Paranormal Hand-to-Hand Night. It will give you the link. Buy your tickets. I want to see you. It's time for us to meet face to face. I am going to tell you my paranormal stories. And I will also tell you about this one that just happened. Thank you for joining us. We have now uploaded this program to my YouTube channel, and we will see you next week here on UCL. Tomorrow at 9 on La Pop, The Paranormal Night. See you. Bye.
Paranormal hand-to-hand connect Rosie